It's Madden NFL 23 on EA Sports, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Jaguars and the Commanders, all that and more, coming up next.
We are just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome as we come to you from FedEx Field here in Landover. Today, it's the opener of a new NFL season between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Washington Commanders. Joining Charles Davis up in the booth, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it is time to begin another NFL season. Here we go. And it's a new era for Washington, making their debut under the Commanders' name. And, Charles, they're going to face a team in Jacksonville who is starting this year up with a new man in charge as well. So newness on both sides here in this one.
Yeah, and only 3 combined playoff appearances in the last 9 seasons for both of these teams. Washington certainly hoping their new Commanders nickname can bring newfound success after finishing 7-10 last year. They're 4th in 5 years, finishing with 7 wins. In Jacksonville, they're hoping a brand new coaching staff and a breath of fresh air can bring the most out of a young core after going 3-14.
Ready to get us started here, Riley Patterson. And we are underway from FedEx Field. This will be fielded inside the 5. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Commanders trot to the field for their first possession, and it's the 7th-year quarterback out of North Dakota State leading the way. His 3rd NFL team, Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz and the Washington Commanders are hoping to provide stability for each other starting in 2022. It's the 3rd team in 3 years for Wentz and the 4th starter in 4 years for Washington. The big thing with Wentz has always been staying on the field. And last season in Indianapolis, he played a full 17 games, leading the Colts to a 9-8 record and almost into the playoffs.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. To throw is Wentz. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Josh Allen, the outside linebacker, dropping him for a loss of 6.
All right, partner, I'm going to be Captain Obvious right here. Not the start you're looking for offensively, right? Incomplete pass, followed by a sack.
And when he went down, it looked like that right ankle got turned, but thankfully he popped up okay, and they breathed a sigh of relief on that sideline. Wentz and the Commanders staring down a 3rd and long now after that sack. Now back to throw. Flushed out right. It's a gain of 9, but it's also going to mean a punt here on their opening drive. So on 4th down, Washington going to call on Tress Way to punt it away. Jamal Agnew is deep to return it. This is brought in at the 21. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Jacksonville's offense trots out here for the first time, and all eyes go right to number 16. Now in his 2nd season as the team's face of the franchise, Trevor Lawrence.
For everyone who expected the highly touted Trevor Lawrence to champion the Jaguars to instant success last season, well, they got a little bit of a reality check. Despite the struggles, though, he still took on a major leadership role within the locker room and among the team. He also flashed some of his considerable potential on the field, particularly in a defiant Week 18 win over Indianapolis that knocked the Colts out of the playoffs.
A play fake for Robinson. Now Lawrence. And a dump off here to Robinson. The Commanders bring out the nickel package on 3rd down. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long. Lawrence will throw. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. sack that time.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt.
Guys, you got this. It's Wentz. Get him.
Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return. And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They fake the give. Now Wentz rolling to his right. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Wentz going to throw. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Wentz finding McLaurin there for the Commanders first.
Not to take him for granted, but it was business as usual for Terry McLaurin, up over 1,000 yards for the 2nd straight year. Now he gets to work with Carson Wentz in Washington and may be the best receiver Wentz has had to throw to in his entire 7-year career. That connection yields a 1st down with that throw.
And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory. On 2nd down, here's Gibson again. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. They'll run with Gibson. And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Now they'll throw it. Wentz. This to McLaurin out on the left side. And he's going to get this down near the 25.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage. And that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. He'll wind up losing 3 there on the sack. Good pressure, and it's 2nd down. He was still looking through his progressions and going through his receiver options, and while he was doing that, the defense got to him quickly in the pocket.
And it was a great example of zone coverage. Well executed, well coordinated. All the receivers were covered, and he couldn't evade the rush back in the pocket.
So maybe just a momentary setback on what's been a great drive so far, but 2nd and 13 here. Gibson here running out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Now, hang on here a second. Looks like a Jaguar in some obvious discomfort from that last play. Well, just the last thing you want to see here in the 1st quarter of a new season. Hopefully nothing serious. We'll step aside for a moment. So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. From the gun, it's Wentz. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Jags grab it. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line.
And that's a down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long. And you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him. Sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did. Yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
Very good starting field position for the Jaguars offense as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Following the fumble recovery, Lawrence sliding out of the pocket. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Arnold. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
And I feel a little bit like a traitor as a former defender because that big man did not want to go down and refused to go down. If you're a defender and you don't get the right angle on a big tight end like him, he can run right through you like you're not even there, and he did a lot of that on that play.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. Oh, that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now Lawrence. This one complete to Christian Kirk. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find answers, and they've got to find them quick.
On the draw, Robinson. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Now Lawrence. That's out wide here for Robinson. And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. Okay, so roughing the passer, and I've got to imagine that's the last thing you want to see week 1 is your quarterback taking an unnecessary hit.
I think you're exactly right about that. You hate it any week, but boy, are you on target. This is going to just depend on him to take him through 17 games, so you definitely can't let him get hurt right now.
Etienne is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. As they'll tackle him at the 3. On 3rd and goal, Lawrence. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Cole Holcomb proving too much there for the offensive line. He gets the sack.
Well, it's up to how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. Riley Patterson now on for the field goal. This a 27-yard attempt here. Patterson's kick is good. And the Jaguars grab a 3-0 lead. Well, I don't know if they would have gone for it on 4th and goal anyway, but the sack on 3rd down pretty much made their mind up for them.
You're exactly right about that. And this is a tough place on the field to take a sack because, as you just noted, it took the decision-making away from them. Now they have to go for a field goal instead of potentially going for it.
And able to get this out to the 25. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
On 3rd down, here's Gibson. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
On side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
Tress Way on 4th down is sent out to punt. Agnew now to return. Call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Now a handoff to start it out. Robinson. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Meanwhile, Lawrence's throw into the hands of Kirk. And he's upended after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line. Three 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. The Jags with the football to begin the 2nd quarter. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. On 3rd down, Lawrence. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And he will have a Jaguars 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the 1st down.
Lawrence with the handoff to Robinson. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Again, it's Robinson. And slow going there as he'll only get a yard, maybe up to the 40 line. From the gun on 3rd down, Lawrence. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he needed to get to the midfield stripe, but he can't do it. He's about a yard short. So 8 yards on the completion there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Brandon, it certainly looked like they had that play defended well, but it still almost worked. Got it to the running back. He wound up getting really good yardage out of it. But it was 3rd and long, and they were able to rally and stop him before he could get to the marker.
Here's Logan Cook now to punt this one away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. We'll remind you that coming up tonight, the first Sunday nighter of the new season. And how about this for a matchup? The Buccaneers and the Cowboys from Dallas, 8:20 Eastern. Then tomorrow, Monday night, just one game here in Week 1 this year. And it'll pit the Broncos and Seahawks as Russell Wilson makes his Bronco debut. And, of course, where is it? Seattle. Coincidence? We'll let you decide. A gain of 32 that time. For an offense that has not found the end zone yet, that's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Gibson. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. A give up the middle to Gibson. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Now Wentz on 3rd down. And this one is incomplete.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Now the former Oklahoma Sooner Tress Way on to punt the football. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
On 1st and 10, it's Lawrence. Steps away to his left. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Lawrence being chased out left. Lawrence hit and the ball is free. And it's Washington that scoops it up. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. In their locker room, they've got a sign that says defense wins championships. And, Charles, they pointed to that this week, said that has to be us. Looking good early.
I like how you saw that because of the bold letters, right? You saw the emphasis that they place on that and what they believe in. And for them, it's every single snap. So it's not just a matter of getting to the quarterback and knocking the ball free. They're trying to read when that ball's going to come free. As soon as those hands separate to throw the ball, they want to be there and have a chance to knock it out.
And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. Trayvon Walker. That is one that he will remember. His first career sack in his first career game in the National Football League. So a great play there for this highly regarded linebacker making his first career sack.
And his versatility on display right there. Look, we've known him primarily as a tackler and a cover man, but he can go get the quarterback when the situation calls for it, as he just did right there.
On 2nd down, a run with Gibson. And he's able to get this one down to about the 40. Washington on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Working from the gun, Wentz. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Trayvon Walker in there to get him once again. That's 2 sacks for him now here on opening day. But, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
Here's Tressway now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. No return, but it goes down as just a punt of 31 yards. And it'll be Jaguar football as they take over deep in their own territory. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Now Lawrence to throw. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders. Now Charles dealing with the 3rd and 1 to try to go back to the air again, and this time avoid the sack.
Certainly hard to try to establish momentum when all you're doing is going backwards, not protecting the passer, and he gets dumped on his backside.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Jones has it. And he's going to be stopped well short of what he needed as the tackle is made at the 18-yard line. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the 1st down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, they got the safe completion on 3rd. Here's Logan Cook now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Back onto the field now, the Commanders' offense. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
1st and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look. On the counter, Gibson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Wentz. And this throw will be intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. Oh, nice move. And the Jags are going to take possession of the football. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. Well, what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here in the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position. After a turnover, I feel like I might have a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of...
Lawrence hit and the ball is free. And it's Washington that scoops it up. And he's able to bring it up 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line. Had some good yardage there, too, before he fumbled that football, Charles.
Yeah, just think about it this way. Running backs, as a general rule, they kind of know when the end of a run is near, and you notice how they cover up, right? They protect the football. Sometimes quarterbacks forget that out in the open field. After a while, you start to wonder, does the running back coach visit the quarterback coach and say, hey, I can help you with this. We can protect this and make sure we keep the ball.
They'll start on the ground with Gibson. It's a pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
On first down, right back to Gibson. And he is going to lose yardage here. Foye Oluokun finding his way to the ball for a stop. A tackle for loss.
Sometimes being a linebacker in the middle of the field is kind of like being a doctor on the field. You got to make the right diagnosis. Here he correctly sets his run and shoots through to make the play in the backfield.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Gibson again. Gibson gets hit and he fumbles it. And the Jags grab it. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. He has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their own 46. Following the fumble recovery, Lawrence looking for the out route here, and it's completed to Kirk. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Throwing again on 2nd down. Lawrence. Open man right side is Ingram. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Looking to throw, Lawrence. And the pressure gets there. He'll go down. It's a sack. And it is going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. He completes it to Jones. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he get a good head scheme going.
Here's Lawrence. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th. Patterson's kick is good, and they're able to double their lead in this first half. It's 6-0. So able to add on to their first half lead here, Charles, forcing the miscue with a fumble and then turning that into 3 points.
Yeah, and more than happy to accept any mistakes the other side is willing to make. No problem. You turn it over, we'll take that, and we'll use it to expand our lead.
Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. Now a timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now Wentz. Thomas has got it, complete. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Wentz to throw again. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Devin Lloyd. That is one that he will remember. His first career sack in his first career game in the National Football League.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. To throw is Wentz. He'll get this into the hands of Antonio Gibson. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars 18. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Well, the good news, at least they won't take that goose egg into the locker room. Maybe a little something to build on.
Yeah, it hasn't been the greatest of first halves for them, has it? But at least now, as you mentioned, they put some points on the board. And it's been funny in our experience watching games. Sometimes something as little as a field goal can change the fortunes of a team, and they could come out and look real sharp in the second half.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And with only 9 seconds remaining, with not much time, we'll see how they play this. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games here to start the new season. So let's take our first trip around the NFL. We'll get started out in Texas, NRG Stadium in Houston. And it's the Colts on top as that one approaches halftime. Matt Ryan with 3 touchdown passes there. From there, we head over to Hotlanta to check out the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And for the moment, they trail the visiting Saints in that one. Alvin Kamara with 2 touchdowns thus far. Lastly, let's get you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. And for the moment, they trail the visiting Browns in that one. Deshaun Watson has thrown a touchdown pass. We continue on with a check of the next-gen stats in that first half for the Jags. And it was a tricky half to figure out numbers-wise. They've got the lead, but you'd figure they're definitely talking about ways to get this passing game back on track. Meanwhile, for Washington, we check on their numbers on the ground in the first half, as they know they'll need to be better to overcome this halftime deficit.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. Taken in at the 3. And he returns this to the 22. The Jaguars ready to get going to start quarter number 3. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger.
Lawrence hit and the ball is free. And it's Washington that scoops it up. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. He was having success there holding on to it on the option, but ultimately problems downfield, and it results in a turnover.
Yeah, and this is a tough one because you know you'd prefer to have your quarterback either heading to the sidelines or getting down at the end of the play. But you've got an aggressive one. He's fighting for extra yardage, and he gets stripped there. You don't need him to be a hero in that situation. You want your quarterback taking care of himself.
On the draw, it's Gibson. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. On second down, here's Gibson again. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 54 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Here's Wentz to throw. This pass complete to McLaurin going across the middle. And the Commanders have got a 1st and goal as he's out of bounds at the 4.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover. And they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
A chance for a first touchdown drive of the year. It's 1st and goal. To throw, it's Wentz. Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7. Not the 1st and goal play they drew up. Multiple defenders in to bring him down to the ground.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. Straight ahead, Gibson. 7 big yards on the carry there to get him within range of the goal line with 3rd down upcoming. Gibson again. And good work there defensively as they're able to keep him out of the end zone. They lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
This defense continues to be good on 3rd down. I mean, they haven't allowed a touchdown offensively. Are you saying, let's go for this? Let's try to get it in the end zone.
I don't know about that because of what you just described. They've been so good, and they don't give up the big play that you would expect in downs 1 through 3. Why should fourth down be any different? You might want to go ahead and kick the...
And he fights his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Stephen Carter taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Commanders have taken the lead here in this third quarter. So a very strong first drive in the second half, Charles, as they've turned that halftime deficit into a third quarter lead.
They were pretty purposeful there, weren't they? Measured in their approach. But, boy, they executed awfully well, moving the ball down the field.
Joey Sly on for the extra point. And he's 1 for 1 on the new year as his kick is good. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. From the 6. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. Charles, you got to think the #1 goal here is ball security. Remember, last drive they coughed it up. Then they allowed the touchdown, and now they're trailing on the scoreboard.
Boy, the way you described it makes me think that that one actually hurt them 3 times. The fumble cost them potential points. Then they watched their opponent get a touchdown off of the fumble. And third, they lost the lead as a result. Really tough sequence right there. I don't think coaches have to remind them to hold on to the football. They've just got to find a way to get it done.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Robinson will try to pick it up. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
There are a lot of different formulas to winning football, but one constant over the years, winning on third down. That pickup there was big because they had struggled throughout this one.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Lawrence, now this is ETN on the draw. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Lawrence, flush to his right. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll go out of bounds. It looks like way at the 40. Lawrence. And Ingram holds it in. And he is going to have a Jags first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Many different ways to create space, but in that play, he did it with that big wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
From midfield now, Lawrence. Over the middle, complete. It's Arnold. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Throwing on 2nd down. Lawrence. The left side completion to Jones. And he's going to get this down near the 25. Now whistles here. And I believe one of the Jaguar linemen might have moved. The offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Now Lawrence. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. Patterson's kick is good. And that gets him back within a single point. It's now 10-9. So the response to that touchdown on the other side to begin the third quarter. Look, just 3 points, but still a response nonetheless.
You're exactly right about that, because I think you needed to answer back with something, even though it's not 6. Just enough to send a message that says, hey, we're not going away.
And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive. On first down, Wentz. A throw left side caught here by the tight end Bates. A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Now Wentz. Forced out to his left. And he lost the football. And did the Jaguars come up with it? They did. So turnovers, Charles, you figure will be key in the second half, and that's a big giveaway there.
Yeah, and as you and I both know, coaches are always preaching ball security, and none more often than right here in the second half of a tight football game. Now you've got to believe what the coaches are saying and take care of that football.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Hand off to Robinson out of the shotgun. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. On 2nd and 11 now. Lawrence. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Montez Sweat. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop it. This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front getting to him. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking him.
Now Lawrence on 3rd and long. Buying time to his left. And that is incomplete.
His impatience has to be bubbling over, trying to find a way to get his team to the end zone for the first time. He did find a way to break, contain, and get outside to buy his receivers a little extra time, but the connection couldn't be made on that throw.
And this won't get there. Won't be online either. It's no good. Off to the right, and that'll keep this a 1-point game. Down here in the third quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the second miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
Well, this offense got to be loving this. After the long missed field goal, they'll take over on the other side of the 50, 1st and 10. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. From the gun, it's Wentz. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. When that ball popped free, we could hear it all the way up here. Those guys down on the field alerting everyone of the fumble. He's lucky that his offensive mates picked him up and jumped on it.
Yeah, and you have to think to yourself, and I'm sure they've been echoing it on the sideline and into the huddle. Guys, we have the lead. Just take care of the football. Don't make it easier for them to start to make a comeback.
The good news, they kept the ball. Bad news, it's 3rd and long. Wentz now to throw. Toward the sideline, it's complete. An athletic grab, but still well short of the first. Here's Tressway now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here.
Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Now Lawrence. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. 2nd down and a run by Robinson. And down he'll go at the 25. 49 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
It was certainly a tumultuous second season for James Robinson through no fault of his own. But through all the noise, he just kept producing. Went over 760 yards and actually scored one more touchdown than he did as a rookie.
Throwing now, Lawrence on 1st down. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
So pass interference, the call there. Always, obviously, Charles, such a subjective call. You agree with the penalty?
Well, from where we're standing right now, I think the officials are tightening things up here in the second half. Maybe the defender gets away with that in the first, but this time the flag comes out, and I think it's a good call.
We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at FedEx Field. Just week 1, but already plenty of intrigue with the games going on, and this one no different as we come up on a 1st and 10. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Montez Sweat able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Lawrence. And Jones has it over the middle. And they've got this down about the 12-yard line. On 3rd down, Lawrence. Dancing to his left. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down.
Patterson's kick is good.
And they take the lead here by 2, 12-10. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30, right about the 29.
The Commanders' offense returning to the field. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this 4th quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. Here's Gibson to start the drive.
And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26.
Making that play behind the line was Dwayne Smoot.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. Throwing is Wentz. And the Jags get to him as down he goes.
More than one defender there, and that's a loss of 5 on the sack.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback, he's not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Wentz and the Commanders staring down a 3rd and long now after that sack. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. All
right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Jaguars are going to take possession of the football.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go.
Another important fourth quarter series coming up. That last INT helping to maintain their slim advantage. And they'll throw on first down with Lawrence.
Steps away to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage.
Straight ahead, it's Robinson.
And they'll get him down right around the 16. The offense on third down, they've had a lot of chances, but not much success, converting only 3 times. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And they pick up the first down there with a gain of 4.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation when they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
On 1st and 10, it's ETN.
And he'll be taken down here at about the 11.
Now we get a stoppage because, as you can see, a member of the Commanders in some obvious discomfort. Boy, you always hate to see injuries, especially tough here in week 1. Just hoping this is nothing serious. We'll take a quick timeout. And now they'll throw it with Lawrence.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. He'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking the lead. And thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. On 3rd down, here's ETN.
Slipped 1 tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage.
Holding offense.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long?
Here's Lawrence to throw.
They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end.
And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
Excellent job there defensively. Gave up the underneath to the tight end on 3rd down, and they made sure that they did their job. Got him on the ground and prevented him picking up a first down.
So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to at least make it a 5-point cushion.
Patterson's kick is good.
And that's going to up the lead to 15-10. So it's another field goal here. He may need to ice his leg after this one. That's now 5 field goals converted in this game alone.
Yeah, get the trainer. They're going to need this guy. And they've needed every single one of the field goals he's made, too. If they're going to get out of here with a win, I say he gets a game ball.
Fielded right around the 8. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Commanders' offense set to take over. And that last turnover could have proven more costly, but their defense only gave up 3. But now answering with a field goal doesn't do them much on this drive. They need to try and find the end zone. On 1st and 10, it's Gibson.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39.
72 yards rushing for him now as he's toted it 21 times.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Once more, Gibson.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Shotgun now for Wentz. This to McLaurin out on the left side.
And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
A give up the middle to Gibson.
And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
On 2nd down, here's Gibson again.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. Now Wentz.
And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. And the Jags will have the football as this is taken up past the 30.
I'm not sure I'm absolutely crazy about that play call there. I mean, it's only a 1-score game, so is it really time to go bombs away and try and make a big play? I think you can take some underneath stuff and still move it downfield.
The Jags offense now gets set and heads back onto the field. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a 1-possession game. This one not fully over yet.
Here's Robinson again on 2nd down.
And he'll get 2, maybe 3 up near the 37.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Here's Lawrence.
This complete to Jones.
And he will have a Jaguars 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that pickup of a 1st down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Looking to throw, Lawrence. Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. Montez Sweat able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
This has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, they got him again. Montez Sweat drops him again for the 2nd straight play, and it brings up 4th down.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Here's Logan Cook now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. A 41-yard punt, 9 on the return, and out will come the offense as they take over.
So Wentz and the Commanders down by 5, 2:14 to play. This is only week 1 of the season, folks. Get strapped in as they come up here 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down. So it's Washington with the football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. Shifts past him at the 45. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. 13 yards there and a Washington first. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
Now Wentz. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Back to throw. Wentz. And that's intercepted yet again, and that could be the backbreaker. Shaquille Griffin with a pick, and the Jaguars are going to take possession of the football. When you talk about making winning plays, that is a winning play at this stage of the game. To come up with that interception, huge.
I like how you identified that because most people think winning plays are the offense trying to get it done. In this case, nursing a lead, they found a way to make a play on that side of the ball and maybe finish things off.
Draw play, ETN. And he's going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him. 2nd down. Lawrence with the handoff to Robinson. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. And now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout. As the clock is stopped with just 70 seconds left to go in the game. They'll lead to 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Lawrence. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
It seemed like he kept going through those progressions, and I thought he might dump that underneath, but he couldn't get rid of the football in time.
And I have to wonder if he was thinking while he was back there, I wish there were a lot less progressions on this play. Just someone that I can dump the ball to and get it out of my hands.
Well, here we go on the next drive for Washington. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. To throw is Wentz. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. Now Wentz, gotta have this one. And he finds McLaurin. And he will be taken down, but it's a big play and a conversion for Washington on 4th down. Well, CD, always a little extra excitement for week 1, and one of our early window games here in week 1 on a Sunday comes to a close. Good to be back in the booth with you, my friend.
And it's good to be back in the booth with you as well. And we know that not everyone's going to start the season 1-0, right? Half the league is going to have a loss on their record, but everyone's going to have to build off of that opener. And how many coaches tell us every single year, you make your most progress between week 1 and week 2. We'll see how both of these teams progress the rest of the season.
So for the Jaguars, hey, you get a win, you get it on the road. You can't ask for much more than that to start the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Indianapolis Colts.
Meanwhile, for Washington,
they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit to take on the Lions.